Of all the video game announcements that I expect to come within the next few months, I can honestly easily say that one of the least ones was Pokemon Snap. I did not expect a new Pokemon Snap to be announced. Major kudos to the Pokemon Company and Nintendo for actually answering a request that they have had for literally over 20 years. They finally made a friggin' game that people have been waiting on for a long time. Not everybody's been waiting on Pokemon Snap, don't get me wrong. Some of the reactions that I've seen to it have been confusion and just an overall resounding meh. There are people out there who are like, who the hell thinks that this is exciting? But you may not understand the nostalgia that is attached to Pokemon Snap. The game is incredibly nostalgic for a lot of people, especially people who, like myself, grew up smack dab in the middle of the most insane years of Pokemon, which would be the very beginning, when Pokemon first showed up. You know, we grew up in the time of when the cartoon was new, the cards were new, the games were new, and any games that came out alongside of the original Pokemon games were just eaten up. We couldn't get enough of it. It didn't matter what it was. Any amount of media that had to do with Pokemon, kids were all over it. And I'm not trying to say that Pokemon Snap was a bad game that was just elevated because, you know, it was Pokemon at the time. It was actually a fun game, and it was really different for its time. And it did a lot of things that were new for the Pokemon series in general. The thing to remember was that back then, the only games that were really Pokemon-centric were the original games on the Game Boy, which were in black and white little 2D sprites that didn't have a whole lot of detail. And of course, Pokemon Stadium on N64. But in Pokemon Stadium, you were in the stadium, you were just stuck there. That was it. That was the entire world, the entire game. That's all you knew. Pokemon Snap introduced us to the world of Pokemon. We were seeing Pokemon the way we saw them like on TV in the cartoons. Interacting with each other, they were, you know, living their best little lives out in the land. And then what we do, as the character Todd Snap, who was also from the cartoons, we get into our little buggy and we drive onto their little island where they're living in peace, and then we hurl a bunch of apples and stun balls and shit at their heads and take a bunch of pictures of them. It was a good time. A lot of people loved it, okay? I loved it. It was one of the greatest games on the N64, hands down, because A, it was Pokemon, and B, it was just a lot of fun. And there's a lot of good memories attached to Pokemon Snap for a lot of people. It was just a really fun game, and it was a game that, you know, you could compare pictures with your friends, so there was a lot of interactivity there. And, you know, there were promotions with Pokemon Snap. Nintendo promoted the hell out of Pokemon Snap. It was everywhere. And one of the biggest things that they did was they had these kiosks that were at Blockbuster Videos. Boomer alert, I'm about to talk about Blockbuster Video. So, my age is shown. Blockbuster Video had these kiosks where you could take your little pack that came with Pokemon Snap, and you would take your pack and you would put your favorite photos on there, and then you would go to these kiosks, stick the pack into the kiosk, and you were able to download your photos to the kiosk and then print those photos out as stickers. If this wasn't the greatest thing that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company could have thought of back then, I don't even know. I had Pokemon Snap stickers all over the place. They were all over my room, they were all over my binders with my Pokemon cards. Okay, I was a little fanatic. Alright, so, you know, I have great memories of going to Blockbuster Video with my grandmother, and we would print out the pictures, and I would go home and stick them to things. It was a great time. So there's a lot of nostalgia attached to Pokemon Snap. There are people that are just absolutely hyped out of their minds for this, and I don't blame them. But I also don't blame the people that are more on the neutral side. They don't really care about it, because they're probably, you know, maybe they were too young and they just never experienced the game, so they don't have the same memories attached to it. Nostalgia is a powerful thing. So, you know, I'm expecting that the Pokemon Company is really trying to push to that nostalgia factor for this game. I'm sure that they are really going to hope that the people who played the past Pokemon Snap are going to want to, you know, buy into this game. Well, you got one customer right here, okay, because I'm going to buy it, because why the hell not? But yeah, I'm really interested to see how this game turns out. It's being co-developed by Bandai Namco, which apparently is Nintendo's go-to guys now for their games. They helped them make Smash, they helped them make the previous Mario Kart couple games. They were going to make Metroid Prime 4, But turns out they couldn't do that, so then they gave it back over to Retro, thank goodness. But, Bandai Namco has been doing a lot with Nintendo, so it's pretty cool to see them working with the Pokemon Company now, too. They're experienced developers, so I'm sure they'll do a good job. I'm gonna go right on the list with everyone else and say that, the world that we see in the Pokemon Snap trailers looks better than the world that they did in Pokemon Sword and Shield, It looks way better than Pokemon Sword and Shield. Yeah, I mean, it does. It does. I'm not going to sit here in front. It absolutely does look better. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what a different developer besides the Pokemon Company can do with these models and fantastic animations and the world itself in the game. I'm interested to see who the hell the kid is in this game. It's obviously not Todd Snap, or maybe it is. I don't know, maybe it is Todd Snap. He's got that cool little hat on, so I can't really tell. But I'm assuming that it maybe, is the son of Todd Snap or something from the previous game? Maybe he's out there looking for his long-lost dad, who never came back home after getting lost somewhere in his little capsule car. Who knows? Maybe there's going to be some cool story attached to this, I don't know. Or maybe you'll just be taking pictures of Pokemon. I don't know what to really expect from this game. I mean, the trailer itself didn't wow me. I wasn't floored by it. I was floored by the announcement, but not so much the trailer. It looks good. It looks good. The world looks fun, but it looks like it's going to be the same old on-rails picture-taking game that Pokemon Snap always was, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I'm interested to see how a game like Pokemon Snap translates in the world of, today rather than in 1999. Obviously, games were more limited back then, so Pokemon Snap was incredible, but if you release a game, the same game that was in 1999 but now in HD, I don't know how well that's going to take with people, so we'll see what happens, but I am excited for it. Obviously, we're dealing with way more Pokemon than what was in the original Snap. The original Pokemon Snap, I had 62, I think? 62 Pokemon, I believe, from the original 150. Now we live in a world where there are way more than 150 Pokemon, so I'm pretty curious to see how many Pokemon they pack into these biomes, and also how many different regions we have to visit to take pictures of Pokemon. I'm expecting to see a pretty decent game, honestly. I think that the Pokemon Company are going to go hard on this one. I think they really are going to try to make an impressive title for everybody, and really hook into that nostalgia, but also introduce new fans to a series that, well, I personally loved on the N64, and I'm delighted to see it come back in today's world. Are you excited for the new Pokemon Snap? Did you play the original game and you're hype about this one? Did you not play the original Pokemon Snap but you're still hype about this game? Or maybe you could care less. No matter what it is, let me know down in the comments. And if you really like this video, do me a big favor and like it, share it, whatever. And if you really like this video, feel free to subscribe. I try to put out new gaming videos every week, and anything that you could do to help my channel grow would be fantastic. But you watching this video means more to me than anything, so I just want to thank you. Be safe out there, and bye-bye.